Hello, hello. Welcome everyone to Shards. We're on the Shards map. The Shards map. We're rocking the Yugumo. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. My apologies. You know me. But this is our sort of, the tier 8 Japanese destroyer right along this is the upper tech tree, right? The upper destroyer, there's two tech trees of destroyers in Japanese. This is the top one, right? So, but yeah, basically, like this ship is kind of, I feel like a mix of guns and torpedoes, whereas some of the other Japanese destroyers along that top tech tree are just like they're so torpedo focused, right? But you can kind of build this out, I feel like you got decent guns and you got decent torpedoes, right? So, yes, so I am using my torpedo like build and commander on this ship versus the other ones like the tier 8 on the lower tech tree, like the Kitakaze and the Akizuki, like those the 7s and 8s along the other tech tree. Those are like those are a must for a gunboat build, right? So but this one I feel like you could kind of choose, but anyway, so we'll sneak into the C cap and see if we can't pick up this zone early in the game. We're also kind of sort of helping our battleship behind us spot as well, but multitasking. Then we'll keep an eye on this battleship that's out there and see if he presses forward. We could obviously send some more torpedoes. I am kind of curious. We haven't picked anybody else up at this point on this side, so I'm kind of thinking maybe someone's going out wide around this island here, but. As we round out the capture, we'll actually I'll start heading towards B, and try and help out over there. If there really are not that many ships over here, which is kind of strange, we'll go where we're useful, right? So, but yeah, just taking this guess, our first rack of torpedoes already reloaded. I should have fired a little bit more to the right. We're gonna lose one of those to the island, but just in case someone was trying to sneak around the corner, if we get lucky, we'll get a torpedo hit there, but. Highly unlikely, but you know me, I like to take those chance shots. Great risk comes great reward, right? Yeah. But yeah, so we're already ahead on zones, but we've lost a cruiser, so that's a little bit of a bummer, right? But yeah, so and then I was kind of like, oh, maybe I could go help capture the B zone, the B hull, but nope, our other destroyer has already done that one as well. So we will go out into open waters and see what we can spot for our battleships and cruisers that are behind us, as well as kind of just pick and choose targets to dump torpedoes at, right? So the difference with this, like the thing with this ship is it's, you don't get a lot of torpedoes and you get a decent amount of guns, for a destroyer, so you kind of have to mix and match. Like I could see myself going a game where it's tough to go a whole game in this ship without shooting your guns at least some. So typically that's what I'm using my smoke screen for, right? So we'll take one shot at this Zeiton. The Richelieu. I mean, if he keeps pressing in, nope, they're picking up more. There's a Plymouth and a smoke screen over here. All right. So if somebody can keep him spotted, maybe we could. I'm just checking my own spotting range. He's getting a little close. But yeah, so like now we're in a position where there's a couple of ships that are, we could shoot at with our guns, but my concern is I'm the one spotting them, right? So if we do deploy our smoke screen, a lot of these guys might go dark, and then our teammates might not be able to shoot. So yeah, no. We'll continue to kind of stay on the edge of where we can get spotted here. Now we got a torpedo hit on the Zeiton. We'll take it. And Odin. Ooh, he's going to be our next target here if he keeps moving forward. Come on, reload. And then, yeah, so it looked like he was, I'm thinking he's wanting to turn in so that he can help, so he can go for the B zone capture, right? The B hole. So we did shoot a little bit to the left to try and compensate for just trying to take a guess on where he might go, right? So, and then we'll send another rack over at these other guys. I'm not a huge fan of sending all torpedoes all at once at one ship, just because then if you do, especially if you don't mix up where, your firing angles, and don't mix up where you shoot. You could, that's just be like a whole load of torpedoes that you like miss, versus like spacing them out, and or shooting at different ships. Is kind of the strategy I like to take, because then if you do get, if you do trigger floods, and or fires, then they're spaced out, you could potentially get a permanent flood, if somebody doesn't have damage con ready because they put out the first one, right? So see if we can't get one. Oh, he's gonna go. So close. So close. And then, of course, we missed the Odin as well, so we're still only rocking one torpedo hit and one zone capture here. But this Odin looks like he's pressing in. Yeah, so my assumption was correct that he wanted to go in and get this zone. We just didn't have a nice broadside shot on him with the torpedoes. We were kind of shooting it at his nose. So this angle is hella better. And then the Plymouth, the added bonus of that Plymouth being in there as well, might also take some torpedoes also. Oh, no, Plymouth is going to be behind. It's hard to tell who's who here. What? Oh yeah, so we got the battleship, and then we'll send another rack there, just since they've got, it seemed like they hit the island, and got a little bit jumbled up. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna use my smoke, because now I can shoot both these ships and keep the zone in our hands. But then the Plymouth used his smoke screen as well, so we can't see the Plymouth, but we can see the Odin, so we'll keep picking on him. And yeah, that fire is gonna last because we triggered floods on him before. But yeah, like I said, so this is, it's taking blind shots at us. He got us away. He got our engine. And then those are probably bullets from the Plymouth taking blind shots at us as well. And Azuma coming in behind us, so we'll have to keep an eye on him, right? And I'm like kind of debating whether to use the damage con or not. Like we've got the smoke screen going. Don't really need it. We've got unstoppable, so we have some maneuverability with engine damage. But yeah, they do get away with capturing the zone. That Plymouth chilling in his smoke screen there. Allow them to get that zone. I should have just fired some, instead of going after the Azuma, I should have just fired some dummy, guess shots into the smoke screen to see if I could keep the zone out of their hands. But yeah, here comes the Plymouth, so he's coming out. I think he was smart enough to move. He knew that I would send more torpedoes, so he outsmarted me there. And then I moved away from our smoke screen in case that Azuma was gonna challenge me, which is what I kind of thought he would do. But I'm guessing that our battleships that are in kind of the backfield there are kind of keeping him at bay, right, from pressing too hard in towards me. But that's why I moved away from the smoke. But yeah, if I had known he was going to turn away, I would have stayed in it, and then I would have been able to, get shots on this Plymouth or something. Been able to do a little bit more, right? We'll dump a rack here just because I know we've got, actually, no, we're holding on to it, sorry. But I was thinking of, sending one because we knew, we were about to get the other rack reloaded, right? But then he started turning away, so I'm like, it's going to be useless, right? So Republic. Now, if he keeps coming, we're going to see if we can get something on him. So that's a pretty good shot there. He'll never suspect it coming through the islands here, coming between the land. The other thing, too, when you've got two racks, so we're holding off on firing the second one, right? You want to try and space them apart. The other thing, too, is when you do space them apart, you kind of have to assume that they're going to see that first set of torpedoes first, right? And they're gonna definitely react to those torpedoes. They're gonna either turn in and accelerate, or slow down and turn away. Whatever they're gonna do. So you have to keep that in mind when you fire the second rack. If you fire the second rack along the the predicted line that it gives you, you're gonna most likely, I would say, you're gonna miss, just because they'll definitely have changed course by the time that first set gets to them, right? So that's why I still just fired it straight through up there, and then they're going towards him, but they're gonna run out of steam before before they get there. But somebody else gets torpedoes on him. It looks like he's flooding and or on fire now. And then we get the zone capture back, right? So we've got all three zones. We are down one ship as well, though, so it's still Not a guaranteed game here just yet. Then this Richelieu, like, I'm like, okay, like, he's really hanging out there. So I'm kind of thinking he'll back up. So I put torpedoes behind him. So we're just trying to take a guess and predict what the enemies might do, right? But plus we couldn't shoot into the island, and the island would block the torpedoes, right? So at minimum, don't shoot the land, right? And then, yeah, it looks like he's not doing that. He's just chilling there. I mean, it's possible he is trying to back up, but he's, you know, it looks like he's flooding her on fire or something here. Or he's trying to just his last-ditch effort to cap that zone. He's fighting like a man, you guys, and then he died. So that gives us even on ships. Curious if this Zeiton will continue to come in this way. He's going to get his butt whooped once these battleships kind of get in range and are able to shoot him. Our allied battleships, right? But so we'll kind of see what he does. He's gonna, you know, he's turning in quite a bit here. I thought maybe like he would either come towards the zone or turn away, and so that's the direction I sent torpedoes. And of course now he's coming this way. He's coming towards our allies. So yep, so somebody picks him up, so we're going to use our last smoke screen here. There's only a couple minutes left in the match. 3 minutes, right? So, and then it's 1 minute of smoke screen time and 2 minutes of a regular game, right? Yeah. So we'll use this, we'll take advantage of the fact that we can just barely hit him. He's just within gun range. Like I said, you could do a gun build with this and then, you know, kind of use their torpedoes as your side gig, right? But I went torpedoes. I feel like it's a good mix, right? This ship, and then we see Zone B is getting capped here, so we'll send torpedoes. Hopefully these work out. That Plymouth has been smart before though, so he may stop behind that island so that we can't get him with torpedoes. But it did look like we might be able to sneak a bullet around there. No. So yeah, I feel like I might, and he's got smoke screen too. So we'll move around and see if we can't either spot him, which, you know, is unlikely because of the smoke, but then we might be able to get some torpedoes in there where he was chilling out though. But yeah, our smoke screen's kind of useless now at this point since we can't reach that Zeiton anymore. And then, you know, of course the Plymouth in here is using his smoke screen, so we don't have anybody to shoot anyway. So I'm not going to just sit in it just because it's there. We will move away and see if we can't either pick this guy up or hopefully hit him with torpedoes here. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned. I mean, that smoke screen's there. Like, that's got to be where he's at, right? Like, torpedoes are going right into it. All right, our battleship is in the zone 2, and he's contesting, but he did not have a lot of health left. And you can kind of see where bullets are coming from there out of the smoke, so I'm going to send torpedoes that direction, and then I'm going to head towards the battleship in case he has a will to rebuild. We could maybe heal him. Keep him in the fight. It's still, I mean, it's, you know, we're doing great on points here, but it's still not I wouldn't call it a guaranteed win just yet. Although the time, there's only a minute and a half left now. So we may be reaching that point. And then, yes, so yeah, we saw where the smoke screen, or where the bullets were coming out of the smoke screen, so we were able to hit that Plymouth with our torpedoes. And then if this destroyer gets spotted, like I said, this is kind of a good mixed media boat, right? So you get decent torpedoes and decent guns, right? Neither is great. So yeah, so we'll hopefully can pick this guy up and we can get a last second kill here too. That would be pretty cool. You can see the smoke screen growing to the left, so I'm assuming he's heading that way and he's still moving. Kind of like annoyed that he's not spotted because he's moving, but yeah. Oh, this must be, he might be an Italian, yeah. That must have been one of the Italian destroyers with the rolling smoke. Let's see who it was here. And we'll see where we end up on the leaderboard. Yep, so Connerberti, that sounds Italian, right? Yeah, okay, must be. So that probably has the rolling smoke screen. I don't have that one unlocked yet. I'm still working through that tech tree as well. So that is our Yugumo. So this is Raizo Tanaka. And the sexy lady here is the Commander Geist, right? So this is how I have my like sort of my Japanese torpedo boat rigged out. But like I said, you could do a gun build, and I do have like the Kitakaze and the one below it, so the other tech tree. Some of those boats are a little bit more, you definitely want to do gun builds with those. So if you're interested, I do have videos out there with that. Like I would look for the Kitakaze video. But that kind of highlights how at least how I've done it, those builds. But we went torpedo strength here with this ship, and that is our video for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you actually liked the video, you could push the like button now. Don't have to. No, it's up to you. You do you. But do follow the channel. We are doing World of Warship videos every single day, so that way you'll see us again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.